Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm hoping this is going to work this time. We're trying to come to you live with summertime party ideas, and it's just real creative how we're having to do this, but it's going to work. It's going to work. I'm currently at my mom and dad's because they are elderly and they need me to check on them often, and my sister and I go back and forth helping all the time, and so it's just a little challenging because they both have Alzheimer's and they don't remember not to come in and talk to me while I'm on a video. So I've got a helper here that's going to help me make sure that that happens and doesn't happen, and we're excited to share with you some great summertime videos. Isn't it great how we can all our lives evolve our business with our lifestyle? And I think about that this morning in my situation with mom and dad here, and how when the kids were young, how I would always work around the schedule in the summertime to make it perfect for the kids, and therefore perfect for me, because if the kids were not taken care of, mommy wasn't happy. And you've always heard the saying, if mommy ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Well, we've got to make this work for you. And we've got to give you creative ideas on how we have had great success with summertime and Tupper time. And, summertime is Tupper time, and you've got to have Tupperware in the summer. All times, it's the most important time to have Tupperware, right? And so what is it that we can do to help you? Well, we're going to share you our experiences and our successes. And so dating Tupperware parties, party themes, working with the kids and their schedule. And that's why we're going to bring in Ellen Lewis and share with you a little bit how she's had great success with the kids and summertime. And so let's welcome Ellen Lewis, and we're going to add her to Ellen's coming in on the camera. She's going to be accepting this in just a second. Adding her in, she's got 3 children, all of them very active, and ages from, I is probably 13, and the youngest is like 4. So Ellen, come in with us. Hi, doll, and share with us your summertime tips.
Okay, so I love working my business in the summer, and I've tried it several different ways. I like last summer, I remember I listened to this training about creating the ideal summer and making it amazing and doing all of this. And I went into the summer with this idea of how I wanted the summer to go, and it quickly shifted, and my summer was nothing like that. And I was really disappointed, and I was like, okay. So this summer, I was watching a show with my daughter. It's really funny. So I have 3 kids. I have a son who's starting high school. He's 14. I have a daughter who's 12. She's my athlete. And then I have a son who's 5. And so it's my daughter, she loves tennis. She plays tennis, and she's actually in a tournament this weekend. We're going to this afternoon to go finish up her tournament. But so what was funny is so she loves tennis. She loves Serena Williams. That's like her favorite female player. Now she has favorite male players as well, but Serena Williams is by far number 1 for her. So there's this special on HBO, and it's all about Serena going back to work after having her baby. And so she's having a real conversation with her coach, and the coach says to her, he said, because she was just like, well, I'm not leaving the baby. And he said, well, there's no point in you playing any more tournaments until you're fully committed. And she said, I agree. But they wanted to play in the French Open. And so so he said, you need to go to France for a month and train before this. And she says, well, I'm not leaving my baby. He says, you can't do it with the baby. And so then he finally looked at her and was like, listen, he said, are you going to work your tennis around your baby or your baby around your tennis? And I started thinking, I was like, that's something that I didn't even realize that I did all those years, and probably a lot, based on, just being around Pam and listening. She gives great parenting advice. She's one of the people I go to a lot for when I'm struggling with something, especially with that work-family balance, because she's raised 3 very successful children in this business. And so I value her opinion and her advice. And so, and that's something I think I learned through her, was that I do, and she just actually said this. She just said, I work my business around my family, but it's more, even though that's what the kids feel like she does, she really makes her business a priority, and she makes her business a priority. But then she kind of almost probably sold them on the idea of like, we're going to go to the zoo today because the weather's going to be great. Da, da, da. But it's really because she has a party the next 3 days, And so, because I know how Pam works, and she's really good at selling people on, you know, the ideas of this business, of working your business, of how to be successful, all those kind of good things. I mean, that's what makes a really good leader, is making them think it's their idea. And so that's really what it boils down to when it comes to the summer. You need to know very clear, what are your goals? What are your goals for the business for the rest of 2018? What is your fall selling season going to look like to you? You know, what do you want it to look like to you? Because we got to put the work in right now and to enable us to be able to have a successful fall selling season. So now is the time. So if you have big goals in this business, you have big income goals, you have big aspirations for leadership, then you definitely want to be working your family around your work, okay? And I'm not saying you work 24/7. I'm saying block off those times in your schedule and then work your family around those times. And so, or play with your family around those times. And so there are a couple key things that I do that I realize that I always apply to in my business in the summer, actually all year long. And one of them is your team is going to do maybe half. They're going to put in half the effort you put in. And so you want to make sure that you're visible and they see you putting in consistent effort in your business, even in the summer, even in the busy times, even in the, you know, with all this stuff going on, the holidays, whatever it is. You know, make sure that you're visible in working your business to your team, because, you know, you want them to be able to model your behavior, but they're probably going to do probably even less than 0.5% of the efforts that you put in. So you want to go all out. Okay. You want to be all in when it comes to your business so that they will be, you know, halfway in. Right? Okay. You guys like that? Yeah, Jessica. All right. Okay. So, and then the other thing is, and we've heard this saying so many times, plan your work and work your plan. All right. And that's what's the key to success is in working around a busy schedule, be it summer or whatever the time of year it is for you, is working on that busy schedule is being ready to work at any given moment. You know, our smartphones really have our back with this, because when, 10 years ago when I was starting in the business, you know, I had to use my binder, and I was just kind of looking to see if it was right at hand. It is actually. So I had to use my binder, right? My Power Hour binder. It had all my leads in it, and I had to use this. I had it with me at all times. It was in my diaper bag. I would slide it. I had a minivan at the time. I'd slide it in between the seats, and so it was always there. So if I got home from the zoo and the kids fell asleep on the way home, I wouldn't go home, because the second the wheels hit the driveway, they wake up. I would actually stop at a community center down the street from my house, and I would just park in the shade and make phone calls. But now our smartphones, we have a lot of that information on our phone. And if you don't, you need to start doing that. I put my leads in my phone as contacts, except I put Jan Party Lead Smith. And so their middle name is what they're doing, like, Pam Replacements Clift, so that when they call me, I see that number coming in and I can immediately go, okay, this is recruit lead. Let's go. It's go time. So I do that. And it's funny because I had a new consultant join the team, and she was in my phone as so-and-so recruit, whatever, and she saw it one time and I was like, oh, well, I need to change that now because now you're on the team. So, and she thought it was really funny, but it's an easy way to kind of keep track. So if you have a minute, you can go through your contacts and see the party lead people and go ahead and send them out a quick text. Say, hey, summer's really crazy, but I'm doing lots of backyard parties and it's really awesome. I'd love to squeeze you in. So you're always ready to work, because there's so many times you have this little midget of time, like 10 minutes or whatever, the kids want to play 10 minutes longer at the park. Or maybe you're in a doctor's office and they're running behind, and that's valuable time that you could be working your business if you're ready. All right. And so you want to make sure that you're always ready with leads, who to call, team members, and earbuds for your phone. All right. So nobody wants to hear your whole conversation in the doctor's office or wherever you are. And so just the other day, my daughter, she helped me so much, and I reward her by playtime at the tennis court that's around the corner from our house. And so because it's a tennis court and a play set, so I can see both of them at the same time, and so it's perfect. And so I reward her with that. So she'd been so helpful to me all day long, and so I was like, hey, all right, let's go to the park. She's like, awesome. So we get to the park, my phone rings, and it's one of my top managers on a team. And I was just like, well, I'm taking this. And so I had my earbuds in and I'm running around chasing James at the park, and I'm over hitting balls with her on the tennis court. By the time the conversation was over, I had done both. But I was able to talk to her and get everything done. And then I was able to get back, put my head back in the game with the kids and have a really great time. When it comes to your schedule, you want to make sure you have white time in your schedule. And what that means is you allow that time for, you don't want to book yourself solid. All right. So I use, see, I'm in my office, so everything's like right here. I use a Franklin planner. I use a digital calendar, but I also use a Franklin Covey planner. So I go through my digital calendar, and then I go through my planner and I write on here, this is the appointment schedule. So I write on there the blocks of time that I have things going on, or when I need to pick kids up or drop them off. And it keeps me, I do that every Sunday night. I just look at the week, and it helps put it in my head. So when somebody says, are you available Tuesday? I actually kind of have a clue whether or not I'm available Tuesday. And so it's great, but you don't want that whole thing booked solid. You want white time in there where you're not committed to doing anything. And that allows that free time. That allows that time for the zoo. That allows that time for, just taking a long walk or doing things like that. When I started the business, we didn't have a whole bunch of money. And so it's not like I could reward my kids with a trip to the store and a toy. And so something that we did, I have this right here too. So something that we did was we would make a list of 100, and I'll actually post a picture of this so you guys can get an idea of some of the things on the list. But this is our summer list of 100. We would do it every single summer. All right. And it has crazy things on there. All right. Some of the things cost money, but the majority of them are absolutely free. Like gazing at the clouds and finding pictures in the clouds. One of our favorites is, we have catch fireflies, make a sundial, like blow bubbles, just like little funny things on there. And cooking dinner with mom, and like dessert for dinner, just silly things like that. And they loved it. And so a lot of times when I needed to get some work done, I would bribe them with this list, and I'd be like, hey, here's the deal. You guys let me work for an hour solid. You entertain your brother. You guys do stuff. Nobody interrupts me. If I can work for an hour solid, you can pick one of 5 things on this list. And I would give them 5 things because I'm thinking of my time restraint and my schedule. And so I was like, pick between this, or this, and we'll do that when I'm done. And so then when I said, and I set a timer, I would set timers because otherwise I'm going to keep working. I'm not even thinking, and I get on a roll and then I'm just working. And so I set timers, and the timers help them too, because they can watch and see when that timer's about to go off. And so then they get real excited, and then they come in and they'll slide notes under my office door and, things like that. Just like, how's it going? How much longer? Whatever. That was before they would have the timer. If I have the timer in here, they'll ask me how much longer. And then sometimes I also do a reward bin that they can choose little gifts out of. And that's just stuff I get from the dollar store. We call it trinkets and trash in our house. It's just like those silly little things that kids like that we're like, why do you want this silly thing I'm going to end up throwing away in a month? So
A week.
But it's all about just kind of like, just kind of like what Pam kind of said, and I kind of read between the lines was, it's about making it their idea and making them not even realize that you're scheduling them around your work, and because then they feel valued, and just allow yourself to have that fun and to take that time out, because nobody wants to work all the time. And I can guarantee you the top earners in our companies, they don't work all the time. They're smart about the things they do, and they sometimes even outsource some of the things that they don't need their skill set to do, and then they just really make the most of their time. And then the last thing I wanted to say was, one of the best pieces of advice Pam gave me was before I was even in Tupperware, and I went to her and I said, you raise kids in this business. I'm really struggling with the balance. My kids were like 1 and 2 at the time, and it was just craziness. And I said, I'm really struggling with the balance. What's your advice? And she just simply said, work hard, play hard. She said, work hard, play hard. When you're working, you're all in working. You're committed to those people. When you're playing, you're all in playing. You put your phone away. You sit on the floor. You're down at their level. You're eye to eye with them, and you're having that meaningful bonding time with them. And it's just, it's such simple advice, but it's so powerful when you really think about it, because they deserve that from you. If you want them as teenagers to put their phones down and interact with the family, you got to do it too. You know, you got to do it too. You have to show them that same respect if you want them to give you that respect, you know, as they get older and things like that. So, so that's kind of some of my summer tips for working with your family and the business. And also when you can involve them, involve them. You know, we work a fair, and there's one day I allow my daughter, if she wants to come and work with me one day. And it's really great skills because we have like little signals. So it started when she was about 10. You know, she needed to be old enough that she wasn't a distraction, you know, and I could still manage to get my work done and give people the respect that they deserve when they came into the booth. And so she would approach people and she'd say hello. You know, I gave her some word choices. She'd say hello. And then when she was talking too much, I would squeeze her shoulder very gently and she'd say, okay, well, we're over here if you need anything. And then she'd back away, you know, and it's teaching her those people skills too. And so the people didn't realize that, you know, that I was saying, okay, babe, that's enough, you know, but I would just squeeze her shoulder and she'd be like, oh, that's your signal. I got to stop talking, you know? And so it was really great. And then she would go back up and she'd ask if they wanted to be in our drawing or whatever, or if she had experience with a piece of Tupperware, she'd jump right in there and be like, that's my favorite spoon or whatever, you know? And it was really cute, but she was only allowed to do it one day. And so she really cherished that time with me. And we really enjoyed it. And so now it's, you know, just a perk for her to be able to go and do that just one day, you know, and have a really great time. So it's not like a job for her. It's still fun. So,
Yeah. So fun. Thank you so much, Ellen. And so work hard, play hard, key. And, you know, I have to tell you, one of the most important things you have to realize when you have children is sometimes you have to stop and quit taking care of the urgent when you forget the important. And I think that is so important for those word choices to penetrate your head today. And if you remember nothing, remember that. Because sometimes, you know, somebody will call and they're like, oh my goodness, I don't have this in my order. I don't have that. And you're trying to take care of the urgent, find this, find that. And what you're forgetting is the most important reason why you sell Tupperware is the value of the time with children. And so if it's a key time that you are supposed to be with them, be 100% with them. I always call it plastic emergencies, okay? And everybody thinks that their plastic is an emergency, and it's not, okay? It's plastic, all right? And so stop, turn off that phone. When it's time to be with those kids, be 100% with the kids. But when it's time to work, be 100% at work. I would tell you right now, one of the wisest things I ever did was getting somebody to come in and sit with the children when I needed to be 100% at work. And, you know, sometimes that was somebody just a couple years older than them because I was still in the house. But I knew it was somebody that I could train to make sure that they didn't interrupt me unless there was blood. Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like one of the best things I did was my mom comes on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings to watch James. And those are the days I work with my team and my directors. And that way, because I feel like, you know, they deserve 100% of me. And so it was a really important thing to do to be able to do that. And then it was funny you said it's not an emergency, it's not blood. So when I did team meetings at the house, my husband a lot of times was working. This was when he worked retail. He would be at work, and because I needed him to request off for the days that I had, you know, rally, and I needed him to request off for the days I had parties. So I couldn't request off for team meeting. So he would be at work. So the kids would come down. They'd say hello to everybody. And then I would go over with them in front of everybody. I said, okay, guys, so what's an emergency? And they're like, blood, vomiting, somebody fell, you know, like we had like 4 things and they list them off. And I'm like, okay, I'll be up in an hour to put you to bed. And I would time my meeting out. So then when somebody else was training, I'd go up, I'd tuck them in bed, I'd come back down, finish the meeting. And the team thought it was hysterical. And the kids learned a valuable lesson. Like, hey, when mommy's working, I got to work, you know? So.
Yes. You know what? And it's so important. You know, nobody would question a man, a father, a dad being in a home and going into the room and shutting his office door because he had to work. And, you know, my son-in-law works from home. Nobody ever questions the fact that he's going to have somebody there with the baby if Ashley's at work as well, or the baby's going to go to daycare even though he's home. Nobody ever questions that. And so don't set double standards for yourself and for your family because your young daughters and your sons are learning from that. And I think that is so important for we as women to not have those standards set in our own homes. Yes, you're doing this business because you want to work around the family. But the most important thing is, what are you teaching the family? What are you teaching your son that's okay? What are you teaching your daughter that it's okay? If you have a job and you're working with Tupperware, being 100% committed to the hours that you choose to work in Tupperware is really teaching your children boundaries, standards, expectations, and also discipline. And so, you know what? Think about what you have, the valuable lessons you have that you can teach the kids this summer when you're working around you. My children tell me, and I will tell you, I am very, very proud of my kids. My kids are all extremely successful and they're all in business. And I'm very open to tell you that my kids will share with you that they learned a lot of their skills in business from mom and dad working a business out of the home. So you're going to find that over and over and again when you find kids that were part of a business, whether it's a brick and mortar store or whether it is a home-based business. When you have children that grow up in a business, they learn different than kids that have never experienced running a business and having those, that business face on when it needs to be on and taking that time off when it needs to be taken off. And so working around that is way more than a paycheck for you. It's teaching your children for their future and helping them learn by example. Because kids, I'm telling you, kids will always, always, always learn by what they see a lot faster than what they hear. So what are we teaching them? And what kind of an example are we doing for them when the mom is not as nearly important as the dad? And so raise that value up and talk to your husband about it, because when you really sit and talk to him about it, I bet he will agree as well that you don't want that assumption made in learning with the children. And so my husband would absolutely, I'll never forget when Jim sat down and said to me, babe, you know what? I am a police officer. I am a detective. I get a pay raise every year. I get clothing allowance. I get education allowance. I get all of this stuff, but I can never, ever raise my pay like you can raise your pay. I can never make the money you can make in this business. And so what I really think we need to do, and it was not these exact words, but this was the gist of it, was we need to put 100% effort into your business, and I'm willing to take more on at the house. And so what he was saying to me is he was willing to do the homework. And so when he got off of work, he'd work for 8 hours. It's not like I sit on the couch eating bonbons. I was working too, okay? But he was out of the house working for 8 hours. When he would come home, he was willing to take some time where I was considered out of the house, whether I had a Tupperware party or didn't have a party. Those were my work hours. And he was dad on, all right? And so daddy took over those hours. He would do homework with them. He would even help with bath time and help, not just help, but he would do it, bath time. And, you've really got to remember what the message is that you're sending when you're not important or you are important with your job and your career and your opportunities. The money really talked to our family because obviously there became a time where I was making serious money, and not to put serious time into it was seriously wrong, okay? But you can get there too. Wouldn't it be exciting for you to have your husband say, wow, babe, you're doing a really good job, and want to take over and want to start helping more with the family because he realizes that the more time you invest, the more you can actually pull into the home. And, Jim was very wise when he made that decision. It wasn't long before I was way past the six figure with the one. And, I'm not shy about the fact that, yes, I make six figures and it doesn't start with a one, but you can have that too. And I have to tell you something. Every time I say that, I want to remind you, I don't say that to brag. I say that to give you a dream. I say that to give you hope. I say that to give you that energy and that drive. And what if it's you? And so you can make it be you if you become extremely diligent in the fact that you're going to make this happen, whether that hostess or that guest or that person next door or whoever it is likes it or not, you're going to make it happen. And so here's what I always did. My mindset would be when somebody would say no to me, I would think N-O, next opportunity. Next, okay? Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. The world is way too big for you to sit down and tell me nobody wants to date a party. Wah, wah, wah. All right? I'm serious. I'm sorry. There are so many parties out there, you haven't asked enough people. And so if you asked 5 people and they all said no, well, maybe you needed to ask 10 or 15 or 20, whatever it takes, because you've got to make the decision that I am going to be the game changer for my family. I am going to make 6 figures while my husband is also making serious money. And we're going to make this a different life for our children. And we're going to make this a different world. Because you know what? You can settle. You can settle. And you can have average. And you can be like everybody else, just settling for average. Because honestly, I look around and I think to myself, why are they willing to settle? Because we've been taught to settle. We've been taught that that's okay. We've been taught that you go to college, you go to high school, even go to college, you get a job and you work 9 to 5 for the man. Or, you know what? You own a business and you don't make 9 to 5 hours. You may make more hours, but you're in charge. And guess what? When it's your business and you don't work 9 to 5 because you're maybe working more hours, it's your choice. It's a whole different world, okay? I don't work 40 hours a week. I probably work 50 hours a week. And then there's a week where I'll work 20 hours a week. And then there's a week where I work, 45 hours. And then there's a week where I work 15. And then there's a week where I work 30. It's all up to me, though. And I make that decision. So when I'm working those weeks back to back to back that are more than 40 hours a week, I chose that. And there's no problem when you choose it. If somebody else told me I had to do what I do, I'd be like, no, I'm not. But I'm like, yes, I am, because I have goals, I have a drive, I have a dream, I have a vision. And you know what? It's not about the money anymore. It's about helping other people see that there's a better opportunity than 9 to 5 and settling for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year. Why would you settle for $40,000 a year when you could be making $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year? And you know what? Ellen and I can look at you and say, hey, it's real and it can happen. I want to tell you some party ideas. Real quick, let's think about this. How can I make this summer be the most productive summer ever? Okay. What if you took this summer and every time you did any outings or anything like that, you probably have church picnics, you probably have a company picnic, you probably have some family reunions. Everything you do, you always use Tupperware. You always take Tupperware. And if there's a host, you give her a gift of Tupperware. And maybe you're going to give her right now, get a lot of those beautiful round containers, because those are great for you to take to any kind of event and say, oh, by the way, the Tupperware is the gift. And so go ahead and fill it full with the food, whether it's the cookies, the brownies, or a nice cold dip or a dessert. It's beautiful in there. And then you seal it up and carry it with you with a pretty bow on it and present as a host gift. And it is it's a statement. It truly is a statement. Now, you can also take a business card if you'd like to and tape it on the bottom where they can easily remove it if they'd like to. Make sure that you're using these all the time. Get plenty of them, because it's a perfect gift for hosting all summer long when you're taking it and giving gifts. The other thing I will tell you is when you go to any kind of event like that, always have, a basket or even a bowl or something like that where you have all of your Tupperware order forms and catalogs and flyers rolled up and with a bow on it. And you can use that for pass outs. Now, I always took a little gadget and put on there and tied a gadget on it. And I carry those with me all the time. And I have them in my purse or in my extra bag. And when somebody says something, oh, do you still do Tupperware? I say, absolutely. Pull it out. Voila. There's, here, have a new catalog. And they love it. They love it. The thing is everybody loves social media, but there's something about that catalog in hand, isn't there? You guys know it too. I love still getting the catalogs from my favorite stores in the mail still. I have to have that. I love my Pottery Barn catalog. Oh my goodness.
Me too. I like to star what I want. I dog ear pages.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And so pass out. Don't be stingy with your catalogs and don't be stingy with your gadgets. If you want customers to want you and like you and consider you their Tupperware lady, you can't be stingy. You have to be able to be, I actually call it sampling. I give, here's a sampling of our product, and that little smidget, that to me is a sample bowl. Here's a sample bowl because it is. It's a round bowl with an airtight seal. Guys, it's a sample, all right? And so give away those samples. And you can do that really easy by putting in one of the little tiny itty-bitty clear bags with a bow on it, or just take a ribbon and put the ribbon on it and then seal it with the ribbon kind of sticking out both sides and tie it right on like that. It works either way. The other thing is offer freebies and specials for summertime. And, when somebody's saying, oh, I didn't even know Tupperware is still around, say, oh, absolutely. And we're doing some wonderful meal prep classes right now. If you're interested in a meal prep class or a cooking class, or if you just want to have a summertime watermelon party or a hot fudge party, Sunday party, have all these at the fingertips. And so what you want to offer. And watermelon demo, fruit party demo, that's where everybody brings a piece of fruit. You play a game, and so they can win points with the different kind of fruits and whatnot. And I just posted a Fridge Smart game, which is really, really fun. And I'll post that in this group as well. And the other one is a picnic Tupperware party. Another one is a beach party. And I love the beach party because everybody has to bring a beach towel, and then you play a game with the beach towel, and it's just a silly point game. But it is fun. We did it a few weeks ago at Raleigh at our event, and it was so much fun. It is silly. It really is silly, but it's still fun. And people think about it when they get the invitation, bring a beach towel. They're starting to think already about, which beach towel I would take. And instead of thinking about, will I go or not? They find themselves thinking about, I've got to get a beach towel for that. And they'll even shop sometime and buy a beach towel so they can have a beach towel that's new to take to the party. And I'm not kidding. These kind of themes work because it puts people's mind into the theme instead of the Tupperware party, which is a good thing to invite people to want to come, and it pulls people into the party. The other thing is the 7-Up party demo, and another one is the strawberry party demo, a flip-flop party, which you'll make a cake in the breakfast maker, flip-flop cake in the breakfast maker, or a lawn chair party. When people say, I really can't have a party, my house is too small, or my house is too hot, or my house is this, my house is that, let's do a back patio party. Everybody has to bring a lawn chair, and we'll give a prize for the best lawn chair and the prettiest lawn chair, and I always did point games. I love the fact that I used to do a pillow game, and people would say, oh, my house is kind of small. I'd say, let's do a pillow party. And they're like, a pillow party? What's a pillow party? Well, everybody has to bring a pillow to the party. And we do a point game with the pillows, and they bring a pillow so they can sit on the pillow at the party. And it's so much fun. The funniest pillow I ever got was, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. I thought that was so funny. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's the winner. That's the all-time winner. And I don't believe that. I love men. I love my man anyways. But I just thought it was a funny pillow. That was a really funny pillow. All right. And so have creativity, have fun, enjoy your summer, think outside the box, think of fun things that you can do. And you know what? Make this happen. Because why? Next, someone's waiting. You know what? Someone will, someone won't, someone is waiting. Some will, some won't, someone's waiting. Always, always, always. Whether it's recruiting or whether it's dating Tupperware parties, some will, some won't, someone's waiting. Find them. Just keep asking. The worst thing you can do is stop asking. You have to make an ask of yourself.
I love that.
We're playing words. All right. All right. You know what? Summertime is fun time, but you got to make it fun. You can work around the kids. This is the perfect job for having children. Because you can make this business, you can be making 6 figures, and you can absolutely enjoy the days you choose to enjoy, as long as you remember that you are here to grow a business. And so the most important thing I can tell you is you need to work the business. You cannot take the summer off and expect that the fall is going to come back and you're going to have all this business back. If you take a little bit of time off, you're going to have to take 3 months to build it back. I will share with you. Somebody very wise told me one time, it will take you 3 weeks to grow your personal business back. It will take you 3 months to grow your team business back. And it will take you up to 3 years to grow your organization back. So taking time off can be very pricey, very pricey. And I want you to think about that idea of setting your hours of when you're working. If you don't have a Tupperware party to go to, then you're in your office, you're dating Tupperware party, you're making phone calls, you're making the text, you're sending the Facebook post, you're working your business still, and you have that time set aside because hubby is helping you grow your business. And it's not your business, it's our business. You say that to him. This is our business, baby. This is another opportunity for us to really make a difference for the kids. And what if I could send the kids to college? What if we could, put an addition onto the house? What if we could get a pool for the kids next year? Think about that and dream together. and get him in on the opportunity. And even the kids, you know, make a goal. What would you like to have? Would you like to have a trip to Disney? Would you like to have Cedar Point tickets? Oh, you guys don't all know what Cedar Point is, but that's like our theme park around here. You get season passes. And so would you like to have a season pass to the theme park? Would you like to put your kids in private school? What is your dream? Think about it. What would you really like? If money were no option, what would you do? What would your dream be? What is something kind of like a desire in your heart that you really like to do, but really haven't had a chance to do it? What if you didn't take the summer off? What if you worked this summer? Use the opportunity to grow your business. What if? And you know what? And last but not least, I just want to close with telling you that the dream is real. But until you believe it, until you really know it in your heart and you really want it, you're always going to settle. And settling is poison. If you have people around you that are settling, it's like the flu. You hang around them long enough, you'll get it. And if you accept it, then you know what? You're going to have to realize that you're going to be always living paycheck to paycheck and always dealing with the average. But if you want to be different, you have it within you to make that choice. And when you make that choice, you can hit your business up to the 6 figures and you can live the life that you've always dreamed of. You guys have a really great day. Don't forget.
Thanks, Pam.
You're so welcome. Don't forget the sale is starting really soon. 15 minutes and you've got to be ready. Have your order form ready online. Open it up. And so when that hits, you can find it. And it is the flash sale. Starts today. Be ready. Flash sale. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks, Pam.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.